Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your April forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see everybody. This reading can always be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. Before we get into channeled messages, just a quick update here. The reason these are rolling out about a week later than usual is I've been dealing with some issues in my apartment. Namely, my HVAC is broken, there was some water damage, and I'm trying to coordinate relocation in this apartment building. So life gets in the way sometimes. But I've shown up today with a lot of information, and I'm going to pack this through and through to kind of give you what you need today. So it'll be worth the wait. Let's get into your channel messages. All right. As I was focusing on the sign today, there were two things that came through. In meditation, I was shown a dragonfly, but in dreams, I had an even more powerful message come through, which was with basically how to stand up to people in your life. And there are a couple of ways that this dream message could be interpreted. The first thing, as I'm even tuning into it right now, is fair weather friends, is what Spirit's saying. So there may be people in your life that are happy to be with you when the times are easy, but the minute there's a hiccup, the minute that something's a little bit difficult, they're the first ones to hit the road. In these situations, it's really frustrating because you might have already invested a certain amount of time and energy into developing the relationship and the friendship, and then you see it for what it truly is. It's still a blessing to know that person really isn't worth the time and energy. Trust what Spirit is showing you, even if it isn't comfortable, even if it isn't what you wanted to see. If people show their true colors, it's better to know at the beginning. Okay, so that's one. If there's fair weather friends, they're not really friends, they're just acquaintances. The other piece that I was getting with this was a judgment that came through when people learned more about you. And there was nothing that you needed to be worried about or ashamed about. It's just sort of like you stepping into your power, and sometimes that makes people uncomfortable because they like you when you're in a little box, but when they find out that there's another piece to you, or that you're more outspoken, or that you veer outside of the expected lines, that makes them uncomfortable. So sometimes rejection comes from other people's sort of like fears, anxieties, jealousy, etc. And again, this is a blessing, but a blessing in disguise. Sometimes blessings are annoying, right? But they're still here to help us. So I'm seeing revelation energy with respect to people in your life. They don't necessarily have to be the friends. They could just be coworkers or people that you know. And you're gaining additional insight because you can see that they react differently when you either step into your power or step into a challenge. And in both situations, what we're seeing here is conditional love or acceptance. And if they can't love you, for better or for worse, then they don't really see you. They don't really know you. And you can create space and room for someone else. That's a pretty powerful message, actually. All right, so the second thing, the dragonfly, one of my favorite totems to come through. This is a reminder that you can move in any direction. One thing, I used to research these all the time when I did the weekly collectives, and they don't always come through for the monthlies now. I'm starting to get direct messages, not just totems, but I remember this totem pretty well. Almost like a helicopter, it can move in any direction, and it's encouraging you in this moment, if we kind of extrapolate that one piece, to view the situation, view your life, view the options around you from all angles. There's not just one, two, or three paths. There are a myriad of options and directions in front of you. So when you feel stuck, allow yourself to elevate just not only your thoughts, but maybe even like get out of the situation, the environment, and talk to other people and see it from other perspectives, and you can navigate through this, and you're going to be okay. All right? I'm going to get ready to shuffle the cards. I can hear a little bit of a siren in the background, so apologies because I don't have an air conditioner. I have to keep the window open, so you're going to hear some street noises today. Thanks for being patient. All right, let's get started. Please take a moment, close your eyes, and let's tune in. I like to always imagine a protective energy, so if you will, imagine the sun is shining overhead, creating a circle of light around your body. Within this circle, you are protected, connected, and now ready to receive messages from Source. Let's welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters and see what's coming forth. Okay, let's get started here. We're going to begin with your catalyst. So, relationships may be taking center stage this month. We have romantic love coming through. We can take it at face value, which is some of you might be deciding to go deeper into a relationship or try to meet someone new. Or we can abstract it a little bit and just say that interpersonal relationships are important. So, who you know can actually help open doors for those of you in business or maybe trying to accomplish something. So people are important, suffice it to say. There is a long paragraph at the bottom that really doesn't say a lot, but I'll read it. It says, the frequency of romantic love supports our journey to feel whole and complete through the experience with and reflection of a conscious lover. So I'd like to address that and then kind of like append that. So yes, partnership can be a wonderful connection on this planet, but in order to kind of like pull in the partner that you need or want, the necessary work begins within. So when we're looking at romantic love, start first by appreciating, loving, and understanding yourself. It will invariably help you improve all relationships around you. In the very last weekend collective that I did on the 12th of April, I talked a little bit about this scene from, it's called Last Holiday. It has Queen Latifah in it. She looks into a mirror, and at the time, she thinks she may not have a long time to live. So she has a new perspective on herself and her life. And she's like, look at how far we've come. Look at where we are today. And then starts to realize that there's so much more to do. But she loves herself deeply in that moment because she sees just how powerful she is. So I would invite you in this moment to see just how strong, beautiful, lovable, and powerful you are, because that will help you pull in other people that have done the same. So rather than trying to find completion in someone else, you're reflecting the inner work that is self-love and acceptance and appreciation. Then you can work on things like empathy, so you can find someone else that has that same energy of self-acceptance and empathy, because the empathy will allow them to connect to you better. When we're just looking for missing pieces in someone else, it doesn't work as well. We'll keep an eye out today for the different types of love and relationship energy coming through, but suffice it to say that's the first focal point. All right, now let's take a look at all of the cards on the table. A lot of changes going on, folks. We have right at the center 2 cyclical cards. We're going to start off first with the Wheel of Fortune. Some of you may decide during this month to make a change in your career, to try something different with your life purpose, also to just get a better relationship between you and self-worth and net worth, because everything I just talked about relationships also has to do with like money and wealth. So if you love, respect, and value yourself, you have a tendency to attract opportunities like jobs where you are appreciated, and that same sort of wealth is reflected back. So working on self-confidence, finding places where your energy is reciprocated, and then building new things. This Wheel of Fortune, we see a little spider building a web. So you might actually be starting to weave or create something new, a thread of possibility. And you really have to see that through. Every day, continue to connect all of the points. Suffice it to say, with the Wheel of Fortune at the center, it shows that things are moving in the right direction. There are more things to consider as we go through that, but we're going to take it card by card. One is Judgment. This is the second to last, the penultimate card in the major arcana. Judgment represents the moment that you accept what your calling is or what your inner decision is. It's already been made on some levels. You know whether you're in or out, whether it's love, relationship, work, or a big opportunity in your life. Somewhere within your mind, body, and spirit, the decision has been made. This is about the acceptance that follows. The remainder of April is also presenting for you a chance to basically bounce back from a challenge, a setback, or something that blocked you before. This is a card of second chances. It's also a call to action from spirit. And if there's anything that's held you back before, this is basically saying, now is the time. Release harsh judgments of yourself and also of others. Try to see things from the best possible outcome, not just worst case scenario. As we take a look here at the deep past, we have the Knight of Wands coming through, showing me that entering into this month, it's kind of like your mind was going a mile a minute. One of the things that you want to try to do is quiet your thoughts and pick one train of thought to sort of follow through on each day. That doesn't mean that you just do one thing. It's like, let's set one goal that I know that I can accomplish, and then we'll prioritize all of the other things. This is going to help you stay focused and not get sort of carried off in too many directions at once. Also, when you're starting to do an important task or project, having fewer distractions around you is going to help too. I just see the mind galloping ahead, which is great. We have to rein in the ideas and try to create some priorities, some traction, and keep to that. So that's one piece of advice here. Also, there could be just a lot that's happening this month, and you want to kind of like strike when the iron's hot. When the muses come to you, work. And even if that means working a little bit more, go ahead and get all of that captured, and there'll be plenty of time later to perfect it. And that's one piece of advice here is sometimes the first piece that comes through, the thought, the inspiration, the creative instinct, that's the strongest. Don't allow yourself to kind of get pulled too far away from that initial thought. You have what it takes this month. The Emperor is coming through in the recent past to remind you of your own ability to see it through. And the important thing here is to stand up for what you believe in, to speak up a little bit more if there's something that you need to say, and know that sometimes you're the best person to bring something to the finish line. Don't wait for someone else to make it happen. You're the best conduit, you're the best leader, so step into that power if you're ready and willing to do just that. In the crowning position here, we have Temperance. And the way that this one is illustrated with a multi-armed deity kind of reminds me of what I was talking about with your mind going in all of the directions here. So let's break it down a little bit. Take your time, breathe, one step at a time. A traditional Temperance card looks a little bit different. The traditional one is an angel that has 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land, and there is a path that's revealing itself, basically. The important thing here is to sort out who you are, what you want, what the best thing is for you in this moment. So not rushing, not pushing yourself, not being rushed by someone else, that might be one of the hardest things. Because the tendency is, I want to be everything to everyone and everywhere at once. And this Temperance card is showing you that the most important thing is to be present. All of these different dimensions, and this is kind of a multidimensional card, they'll reveal themselves to you if you slow down. Spirit speaks oftentimes in a whisper, and angelic cards like this will benefit from things like meditation, journaling, sleep, rest, and quiet time. And so I kind of prefer this version of it, but this is meeting you where you're at. And this is saying, you know what, you're going to have to find your peace in the sort of noise and the chaos. So I guess I take it back. There's a reason that this card was chosen for you. She's still calm. She has all of these different versions of herself being pulled in all the directions, but at the center, she's calm. And she is testing the water. And that's the one thing that I think you can take away from this as well. Before jumping into a new situation, test the water. See if it feels right for you. See if people are ready. Read the room, basically. And if you give yourself more time to be quiet and tune in, the messages will start to appear and the path will start to reveal itself as well. As we look at what this month is presenting to you, the near future here, we have the Justice card in the reverse position. It's okay to say no. It's okay to change your mind. And many times you may need to put a line in the sand and say, this isn't what we talked about. This isn't what we agreed to. In the upright position, of course, justice is all about balance, equity, following the rule of law. But when it's reversed, something may be off a little bit, and it's your opportunity to speak out and to speak up. You may find yourself at a crossroads this month. Judgment can be someone else's decision, and justice reverse can be your own disconnect with that. So someone that you love perhaps is doing something that just doesn't make sense to you. But if they're not open to feedback, or if they've already walked down that path, it's better for you to just keep the door open if they want advice and use your power and energy to basically affect your own path, your own destiny, getting back into this card and saying, all right, what can I focus on? What should I be doing? They've decided to do that. Now I'm in new and uncharted territory, so I'm going to focus on this instead, okay? The other thing here with this is if you don't like a contract, get that pen out, circle it, write it. When I look at the sword, it sometimes is that using your tool of communication to basically say, I need this, not this. And that's going to set you in the right direction. Now, there is also a call to action with this, which is to take care of yourself. These two cards, since they're crossing, since the Judgment card is crossing Justice, this is the wake-up call. So maybe there was something going on with your health, your finances, your relationship, and it's kind of like ringing the doorbell. And this card is saying, all right, let's create balance from that. Like I said earlier, this is a card of second chances, especially when you can see the souls rising up from the dead here. So if you heed this warning or heed this wake-up call, great things can happen, all right? Don't do something that is counter to your morals, beliefs, or the law. Don't take a shortcut that might impede with any of that, because it's all going to just cost more in the long run. Do it right the first time. All right. You're coming through with great energy this month, 10 of Wands. This is showing the ability to complete something, to reap the rewards. And we also see someone, or well, in this case, something growing from a past experience that may not have worked exactly as you anticipated. So this is the other side of the Death card. It's rebirth. And we can see that here as well. This represents something that has come to pass and something that is growing from that. In a traditional sense, this represents travel, like I said, completion, but there's also a nudge from spirit not to take on so much, not to overwhelm yourself, either emotionally or with what you're putting on your sort of schedule. As we look at the traditional card, there's one more message here, which is if you need to take a break or if you need to delegate, by all means do that. There's no rush to get something done. You want to make sure that you are mentally and physically not burning yourself out, not burning the candle at both ends. From a health perspective, sometimes this can be a little bit of upper or lower back pain. And of course, if that's going on, work with your doctor, okay? And this can also be traveling for work. And there's a time and a place for it, but it does get burdensome over time. So make sure that you're getting the support that you need and not, again, burning yourself out. All right, as we take a look at the environment, we have the Queen of Swords coming through. She's in the reverse position and she can represent criticism. Now, the environment is a reflection of you. So when you start to look at yourself with the love and compassion that we talked about earlier here, loving yourself, appreciating yourself, and then of course extending that same love and empathy to others, that's going to help elevate everything around you. You may simply be tapped on the shoulder for quick advice or quick action. The Queen of Swords in reverse doesn't mince words, and she's usually quick to take action for something. There may be more expectations around sort of accountability, and as long as you're willing to rise to the occasion here, this could be a good thing. Now, interestingly enough, some relationships may be coming to a natural close. So the Justice card in the reverse position is usually separation, distance, or trying to recalibrate something, but usually there's a need to step back. And with the Queen of Swords in reverse, if you can find the right tone, time, and sort of like, it's the right tone and the right time to communicate it, that's going to be everything. So that's why temperance is so important. Testing the waters. Hey, is this a good time to talk? Or how's everything going? Or help me understand what's going on with this. How did we land on this? Finding out what's going on before you enter in with your communication. A Queen of Swords reversed often needs to listen before she speaks, and listen more than she speaks. And when she speaks, make sure that the words are well chosen. So all of these things will help you. And the reversal of this is really just weighing your words and weighing the moment, okay? As we look at hope, fears, and opportunities, we have Two of Swords entering into the party here. So she's in the reverse position, and instead of a blindfold, her eyes are closed. I like this because the Two of Swords is always representing a path or option that isn't obvious. It's not on the surface, it's not in front of you, it's within. So she's chosen to look within in order to make that happen. The other thing that I think is fascinating with this, because I edit videos all the time, when I look at the swords, they're waveforms. And so the other thing that you're doing in this moment is listening to advice, listening to your higher insight, weighing it out before speaking or taking action. After years of reading, I think that when the Two of Swords comes through, it's saying, don't settle for something that doesn't make sense. So ask questions if you don't understand something. And don't move forward simply because those are the only two options. There might be a third. There might be a fourth. Remember, when we were looking at the multidimensional temperance card, when you tune in, the path that we see on the traditional card, that little road behind her will be revealed. So there's something that's not in front of you, and it may be exactly what you need. So speak up and ask for it if it's not there. In relationships, this can also be a feeling of being underappreciated, people not listening. So make sure that you validate other people. And if you need a moment to be heard, raise your hand, fight for your time. It's basically part of the reason that justice came through as well. In the outcome here, we have the Chariot in reverse. The Chariot is asking you, what do you want to fight for? What do you want to stand up for? There's been a common theme this month of advocating for yourself, creating balance, using your voice, making sure that anything that you sign, anything that you do, it really feels like it's something that is balanced and even. If it isn't, then this is you fighting for that balance once more. The Chariot card is also about getting people aligned and sort of reined in. So in any sort of leadership situation, whether it's your family, coworkers, or a job, a challenge here could be in getting everyone to focus on the same point of view, the same end goal. And when it's reversed like this, there could be challenges to authority. The good news, as we looked at in the spread, is I already see you've done the karmic work here with the Emperor card. You have to believe in yourself, though. And if you don't believe in yourself, other people will have a hard time doing so. So really focus on building up your confidence, doing your homework, and then when it comes time to say or do something, you know that you're ready. You know that everything is aligned for that, okay? But ultimately, I like that we have the 10 of Wands here showing that you're close to finishing something. The Wheel of Fortune showing that there's expansion when it comes to projects, wealth, opportunities. And the biggest challenge is simply focusing on what you can control, not what others have said or done, because that's their path, that's their life. You have to really focus on staying the path in your own, okay? Let's go ahead and expand this forecast. As we do so, just a quick reminder that, as always, you can, if you need to, you can reach out to me for a private reading. You can go to my website for more information. Otherwise, I'm going to move through this a little bit more quickly, and we're going to start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. All right, before we move on, look who just joined us in the background. Hey, Apollo. Hey, buddy. Who's a good boy? Yes, good boy. All right, now let's take a look at that health card. We have the Four of Swords. It's time to rest, folks. If you've been working too much, there is a limit to how much can be done before you get to that point of diminishing returns. This is also about putting something to rest, closing a chapter in your life, making sure that you're doing so with a clean slate. But really, quality and quantity of sleep matter. This is a curious version of the card. I'll pull the traditional in a moment. We see someone here who's kind of tied up, pent up in all the emotions. And also that sword going through the mouth. It feels like for some of you, you might really be wishing that you could have said or done something differently. And it's important to realize that the past is in the past. We can't change it, but we can learn from it and make better decisions because of it. And when you kind of make that peace, then you can, like I said, close the chapter and treat tomorrow as a reset, as a brand new day. As promised, here's that traditional card. What I love about the traditional illustration is we see the three swords above, which can represent the Three of Swords, like pain or discomfort or anger, any sort of setback. When you allow yourself to rest, the fourth sword, which is innovation, ideation, action, new opportunities, that comes the next day. So if you can just put to rest any mistake, any misstep that you made and say, we're going to file that under a lesson learned. Tomorrow I'll have that. Kind of like, it's almost like you got yourself a mental upgrade, right? You added memory, you added experiences, and then the next day can be better. So give yourself time. Time heals just about everything, but it takes time. And for each of us, the amount of time necessary, depends. One thing that I would say with this is make sure that your bedroom is kind of like a sanctuary, that there's not too much light, that you're not reading too much or watching TV too much or listening to too much. Really try to meditate before you go to sleep and then just allow sleep to work its magic. All right, some high-level messages coming through with respect to health. Get the balance right here with the Justice card in reverse. There might be something that's out of balance, whether it's how much you're working, how much you're exercising, what you're eating. Something could be calibrated or recalibrated a little bit more, and it's likely being sort of like emphasized here by the wake-up call, the Judgment card, which is a brush with death or a health scare sometimes in the past, but you're learning from family history Or again, just something where a doctor says, do this or else, and you're like, I'm going to do this. I don't really want the plan B or the other sort of path to reveal itself. All right. So heed the wake-up call, create better balance. And then we see some other messages here around not taking on too much stress. If you're moving or you're lifting anything, be careful. As I mentioned, if we go back to the traditional version of the card, it can represent a strained muscle or a pulled back muscle in particular, or slip disc. We don't want any of that. Queen of Swords in reverse also shows the throat chakra lighting up a little bit. So if you've just worked yourself to exhaustion, you might have laryngitis or a cold. Please take care of that. It might be time also to go to your ear, nose, and throat doctor or the ophthalmologist, because Two of Swords is dealing with all of that part of your body. Other than that, just slow down and meditate. Things will get better, provided that you give yourself that time and space, and the rest as well. Okay, moving on from health to wealth, your resources, your life purpose, and your career. It's a great card, folks. We have the Seven of Wands. It is reversed, but it's still showing that you're on the heels of success, because Six of Wands, success is right before that. The Seven of Wands in the reverse position is saying work smarter, not necessarily harder. You don't need to exhaust yourself. You don't have to be a martyr. Take your time, breathe, and delegate. This also shows me that you can do anything that comes across your path. However challenging it feels, you're still going to be really able to do it. In the traditional card, we see more of a defensive stance. With the card in reverse, it's saying two things. Don't necessarily immediately go on the defensive if someone comes at you with a question. Try to diffuse it by asking a question back. Try to get some understanding, because maybe you're both on the same page or trying to accomplish the same goal. And you never know until you slow down and just communicate. There also might be someone that just takes you by surprise. Breathe, get your senses, and ask yourself, do I need to go into fight or flight? Or again, is this just a moment where we're good? Okay, so don't overreact is the main message here with that. And let's look at some other things. High level, I'm not going to break it down into every category. All right, doesn't matter where you're at with your sort of like journey in life, whether you're working, a student, retired, looking for work. Here's what I see. First of all, there is an opportunity this month to have a better relationship with worth and money. And the two go hand in hand. So self-worth relates to net worth. Value yourself and seek out people, environments, and of course, jobs and opportunities that do the same. Leave the past in the past. There might be an opportunity to go back to an old company or to do something that you've done before, but it feels like you're finished with that. This is a time to innovate and try new things. Just like you wouldn't want to go back and repeat a certain grade in school if you'd actually learned everything that you needed to learn. Experience is great, but there may be some ageism or people having expectations that you're supposed to be younger or older than you are for a certain task or for whatever it is that you're doing. Again, this is their perception. It doesn't have to be your reality. Staying cool, calm, collected is really, really important. Don't take the bait. Don't overreact. Your ability to stay cool under pressure is what's going to set you apart as a great leader. And network. This is so important here. You actually could open up a door or an opportunity by who you know. So this is a great time to get out there and get involved with professional organizations. Talk to someone if you want a job. They might know someone that can get you in there. And the most important thing here for everybody is to really make sure that you're getting what you deserve. So in existing jobs, make sure that you're getting paid well, that people aren't, making an assumption or using a bias to hold you back. If you're looking for work, make sure that you look at that document twice before signing it. Get a lawyer, especially if you're going to look at an employment contract. And what you're looking for, it might be different than what actually is coming through. Two of Swords is saying, look at it from a different perspective. You might be able to wrap up your skills in a different way and find a new opportunity. Or if you're in a current organization, there might be a different path to getting to an approval or getting something out of the gate. What I do like this month is the ability to start what to finish what you've started, rather. And the most important thing in all aspects of work and money is to use your voice. Ask questions. Say what it is that you want and need, and really see your worth. Don't accept less than your worth in all aspects this month. I think that's the most important thing. Moving onward to love and relationships. Breathe when you see this, because when I connect it with the main card, I actually think it could be quite good. All right. Did you breathe? We have the Tower in the reverse position. So notice what's happening when, typically when the tower's in the upright position, you see people falling head over heels, right? So when the card is reversed, you may just meet someone who sweeps you off your feet, but you might have that feeling of twirling around a little bit, but you're able to see it and not get swept up in it. So someone takes your breath away, someone gets you into that sort of dizzy energy of, this is someone that I love, or this is someone that I want to get to know, but you have to ground yourself and you have a moment to do that. And when you truly meet a friend, a partner, an ally, there is that feeling of, oh my God, where have you been? And there can be this sort of swimming level of thoughts like, oh my gosh, do I deserve this person? Am I ready for this relationship or this opportunity? And that's the tower that we don't want, because I really feel like, as I mentioned earlier, that there's a lot of opportunity for great things to come through with love, friendship, and partnership. Ground yourself and know that sometimes when that moment happens, we're in disbelief because we've been waiting so long. All of that being said, there may be a need in this moment in time to clean up your life a little bit. Make sure that your health is where it needs to be, your finances are, your living situation, because when you add in the layer of relationships on top of this, it can be a little challenging. So pace yourself. And what I'm seeing here in relationships overall, it doesn't matter if it's new, existing, or if you're looking for one. There's an element of surprise. Two of Swords is surprise. The Tower is surprise. There is a karmic relationship because that's judgment. But there's also a little bit of friction here because Justice and Two of Swords reverse. The person that you love the most may hold a belief that you don't agree with. You may like everything else but that one thing. You have to kind of decide for yourself, and that's what the initial card in the crowning position was doing. Is this a big deal? Is this something that I need to fight over? Am I willing to land on the sword for this? Because as we saw with this, there may be some regret if you say too much. So sometimes when we love someone, we have to just kind of agree to disagree on certain things because we value the relationship more, and we understand that it's very rare to agree on every single point 100% of the time. Compromise, in other words, is going to be your most powerful tool. All right, let's look at some other things and then we'll go to the next category. So what I like here is we have passion, Knight of Wands. We have patience, but we have disagreement. So with passion and patience, you can work through a disagreement. And in both new and existing relationships, we have karma. The karmic energy is sometimes hastiness. And so what we have to really do is just sit with things for a moment before jumping head first. And that's why we have this as well. There's a lot going on in your life, potentially in your friends and partners' lives. And so what you need to do also is be patient with them. Change takes time. And as things are sort of moving, you probably don't want to make any major decisions. That's why Justice is kind of sitting here in the near future and hasn't quite landed on its feet. It's still weighing the options. Give yourself time. If I could kind of like infuse one more card here that would help, it's the Eight of Cups. Take a step back, breathe, talk to some other people, see how you feel. Then and only then decide, are we going to level up? Are we going to split apart? Are we going to start a family? Because it feels like you could be doing any one of those things this month. And the Tower can be happy surprises, marriage proposal, retirement, birth of a child. So you have to really kind of keep yourself grounded this month, and that's going to be key. There's room for two people to make strong decisions and have strong energy here, but I do feel like with the Emperor and the Chariot, they're both very strong leadership cards. Sometimes it's like who's leading the dance, and you can both lead at different parts. Like think of dancing. Take turns. I'll take this dance, you take the next. And that compromise is going to help you out quite a bit. All right? If you're looking for love, can you find it? Yes, but you got to get your life balanced out. If you're in an existing relationship, also important to balance it out. And even if you're single, that balance is so important this month, okay? Now let's move on to your Destiny card. For this one, I love that it came through. We have joy. Joy, laughter, play, fun. We allot this. There's recess for children, right? We break it into the day. They need to have lunch and recess. Why don't we do it as adults? We should have recess every day. A chance to just go out and have some fun for 10, 15 minutes. When I think back to school, it was usually not more than like half an hour or something, right? a lunch break for like 45 minutes. We need to do these breaks for ourselves. You can't work constantly. You're not a machine. Have some fun. Watch a movie, read a book, go out to the park, pet your dog, whatever it is that brings you joy. Please do some of that. All right. You can ask one more question now, whatever it is. Go ahead and formulate that. I'm going to shuffle the cards and we'll see what Spirit has to say. Okay. It's a great card. If you asked a yes or no, it's a yes. This actually is wish fulfillment. However, we have a genie in a bottle here. However, if you kind of let the highest high or the lowest low pull you in that direction too much, you're going to miss a lot of fun along the way. So this card has a tendency to go to extremes. So we want to make sure that you slow down, drink in the moment, and don't let those punctuated highs or lows sort of take your breath away or take you from your main focus in front of you. Emotions are riding high. You might need a little bit of support if you're feeling just that sort of intensity. So talk to a counselor if you need to. Make sure that you're doing things like resting, meditating, eating well, exercising. All of that is going to help out, okay? Ultimately, a joyous card. Wish fulfillment is on its way. There's a little bit of disbelief, but you've worked hard for this moment. Believe in yourself, okay? That, my friends, is everything for this month. So I'd first like to just say thank you for spending some time with me today. I appreciate it. Secondly, there's a lot of different ways that you can connect with me. If you go to my website, nicholasashbaugh.com, you can sign up for my newsletter, which is free. You can follow me on different social media platforms. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, and I'm on all of these platforms. You can give back if you'd like to through PayPal. And if you'd like to continue the conversation that we started here, I also offer private bookings, usually anywhere from 2 weeks to about 4 months out. So feel free to take a look at that and see if that makes sense for you. Otherwise, right here on YouTube, you can give back with a super sticker or by becoming a member. And those things mean a lot. That's how I can continue to show up every single month doing the daily, weekly, and monthly videos. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. And remember, every Sunday I do a live stream around 9:15 a.m. on Sunday. And I'd love to have you show up for that. And I also do daily videos if you just need a 1 to 2 minute morsel and check-in. In the meantime, wishing you all the best. Thank you so much again for being here today. It means a lot. Take care.